All right, I think we have a minute finally here, quickly. Nobody's here. Hello, everyone. First, before we start, I want to say thank you to everyone that reached out because I was overwhelmed. I honestly don't know how many emails. Over 200 emails came in after the weekend. You guys trying to help to figure out what's going on with Mr. Hartman. Lots of you guys, like I said, reached out. Lots of great leads. But first, we need to talk about something that I completely missed and one of you guys spotted. And let me have my phone. I have to give him a shout out. Because there's one important thing on this tube when all the paperwork came in that most everybody missed it, and I missed it myself, and everybody in the shop missed it as well. And this came from retired postal worker Mr. Reed, and obviously being a postal worker, he's the one who caught it immediately. So what I have on this tube, when we look at the name when it was sent to, right on the side, very faded, there's a stamp. It says not there, M, probably means more, not there anymore, I don't know. And then number 130 behind it. So this package, the government tried to deliver to this address, but that address was wrong, didn't exist, and that's why we can't find this address on Google Maps as well. There's a different address that's in that spot. So this was returned back to, it says War Department, and the department is actually, I can't say it, Adjutant
General?
Adjutant General Office.
Does it say it? Yeah, the Adjutant General's office.
And that's why we have this letter here from them as well. From Major General J.A. Ulio, that most likely this went back to their office, and I'm told when it goes back it just gets stored and lays there for years and years and years, and somehow later it got released, who knows to who, and ended up on an open market. So I really appreciate that information because we completely missed it, and that address is incorrect. Now I do have, thanks to you guys, 2 different addresses that we're gonna follow up later on in this video. So that should be an exciting trip going to Chicago. Looking up those 2 addresses that they still exist, and I'm gonna actually try to, ring the doorbell and talk to people and see what we can come up with. But the other 2 leads that we have, a granddaughter, no, I'm sorry. We did had a granddaughter that turned out to be the wrong family. That I already contacted it via email, that you guys also help put it all together, and she reached out, we went back and forth with the information.
Okay, honey.
What are you doing, crazy? That's your own fur. There you go. She reached out back to me, emails back and forth, and it turns out it's a different Hartman, different family. But it was funny too, she did had a grandfather who was in a war and also received the Purple Heart. So she got really excited when, but different family. So that lead went nowhere. I do have another lead that Mr. Hartman's brother got married for the 2nd time, and his wife was born in 1950.
Yeah.
And she's 71 years old now. She doesn't live too far away from here. This is Deerfield, Illinois, and we're gonna call her right now.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Just a quick update overall that George Hartman died at the battle in Luxembourg, and he is buried in Europe in a cemetery in Luxembourg. So he did, fallen on February 8, 1945, and the name on the actual medal and the paperwork is definitely misspelled, because all the records that we were able to produce since his enlistment definitely say that it should be spelled with M-A-N at the end, not M-E-N. So that's what we know so far. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to the bottom of this and we're gonna find some family.
Trying to return a Purple Heart.
So here's the interesting thing, because we're gonna make the phone call right now, guys, but we are debating here how I should start a conversation
Without
so this
sounding-
lady doesn't get spooked and
Right.
I'm not some kind of sales call or a marketer or
Yeah.
scammer or whatever.
As long as you don't start it with like, hi, we're from the vehicle service department, your
Warranty?
warranties,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
up,
warranty. What should I say, really?
Well, I
Like,
think you should introduce yourself. Don't
I'm
say your
just-
last name, say your first name.
I'm just gonna
If you
go
say,
for it.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
just be
Just be me?
a little less you than you. Dilute it.
Yeah, don't sound so Polish because then you sound foreign. They're gonna think it's a.
I don't know if I can.
Just say, hi, my name is Pete, and if, just
All
so
right,
you have
here
to
we go.
Go with the flow.
Please leave a message for 184.
I can't put the number
Oh,
is
you're
repeating.
right.
I don't want to repeat the number.
Okay. Leave a message, and we'll call you back.
Finished. Press the pound key.
Yes, hello. My name is Peter. This message is for Beverly Hartman. Beverly, if you have a minute, can you please give me a call? I think this could be possibly something that you might be interested in. I'm calling in regards to George W. Hartman, and it's regarding a Purple Heart medal. So if you have a minute, can you please give me a call back? My direct line is 815-72. Thank you. So I can cut that out, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah. Okay,
So-
so now and she can listen to the whole message and think
You
about it.
press pound at the end, so you're not still recording.
Oh, did you?
No, I just turned it off. So Beverly
Married.
Hartman is
The wife of his.
the wife of his brother, second wife of his brother, I think.
Okay.
And
And his brother is.
his
passed
brother also passed away. His name is Edward. All right, so that lead so far went nowhere. At least we left a message.
Yeah.
Here's another approach that we're gonna take to this, and her name is Kathy, and Catherine reached out. She's a senior specialist for Ancestry.com. They reached out, they saw the video, they want to help. They said that they're gonna use all their resources that they can to try to help the family.
They have a
So
ton of resources.
and they have a ton of resources, as everybody knows, as you guys know, because you send me so many messages with the screenshot actually from the Ancestry website about his info. So let's give her a call and see if she picks up. San Francisco, here we go.
Hello?
Yes, hello, can I speak with Kat, please?
This is she.
Hello, Kat. My name is Peter Kozisa, and I'm calling you from all the way Chicago. And I believe you reached out to me. You sent me an email the other day. This is my YouTube name is Craigslist Hunter, and I believe you had a chance to watch the video
Yes.
about Mr. George Hartman, that we are trying to locate some family members so we can potentially return his Purple Heart medal to the right owner. So I thank you very much for reaching out, and thank you for trying to help. What is the information that you will need from me to help you guys help us?
Yeah. So, I did take a look at your video. I guess my real ask is that I'm going to be handing over this information to our research team, and to minimize the back and forth of, what do we have, what do we need, a list from you of the materials that we have, where did it come from, those certificates that you showed, pretty much just in an email, everything that we know about this, so that when I pass off the information, they have everything that we have. And then from there, they'll take that information, do some research, see what we can find, and then we can move forward. So it's really just translating what's in your video, what we know for sure, into an email so that I can pass off that information.
Wonderful. So I will take like photos of all the paperwork and attach them to the email. Plus I got a little bit of additional information that over the weekend I was able to obtain, like his registration card when this gentleman went into the service, his latest address that we know, and things like that. So I'll attach as much information as I can. So
if you have anything, if anybody surfaced anything that we didn't already know, maybe throw that in the email too. Whatever you have, I want to make sure that no details are lost, so that our research team is starting off on the right foot.
fantastic, Kat. I really appreciate it, and thank you for reaching out, and hopefully you guys can really help us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have my email address?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So just respond to that email.
Yeah, perfect.
Wonderful. No problem. Thank you. I understand. All right. Well, I'm going to get all my paperwork together and try to get that email out to you a little bit later on today.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice.
So excited that they're going to help. We'll see what comes out of it. And now let's go, guys, and check out the two addresses that I have available. One is the one that it's listed actually on his DSS form card when he enlisted in Chicago, and there's also his name and his father's name on it, so I know it's a legit good address that the family used to live. And then we're gonna go to the second address that it was a little bit later on, also in the city, on Halstead Avenue, and see if there's any matches. So come with me on a little trip. Just got off the expressway. We are on the north side of the city. This street that I'm on, it's called Lincoln Avenue. Pretty popular street. One of the most common streets that you're gonna see in the city in Chicago. This is what a main road in the city in Chicago looks like. Now there's a bunch of traffic, of course, in front of me. I'm gonna try to let them go a little bit. If I would take this road, you guys gonna see straight ahead, probably 8 miles ahead, you're gonna see downtown Chicago. If I would take this street all the way down, I would end up in downtown. The problem is, if I would take this regular street down, it would take me at least an hour to go those 8 miles, if not longer. I'm actually supposed to turn left here now, so we might not see. But you know, typical businesses, always bunch of auto shops everywhere. The Fish Guy, I don't know what that is. Oh, some kind of seafood place. So now we are turning on Montrose. So this part of town, which is called the North Side, I'm passing Pulaski now. So this is Montrose and Pulaski. This is a neighborhood actually that I grew up in when I was a kid. Believe it or not, the street that we are going on, when George grew up on, I grew up on the next street over. We are going on the street called Monticello, and I grew up on a street that it's called Ridgeway, which is literally a street away. Here's Avers. We should be coming up. This is Hamlin, and I believe next one is Ridgeway, and then we got Monticello. So literally this is my neighborhood. Wow, 35 years ago. The grid in Chicago is extremely easy to navigate. You got a bunch of one-ways, and everything either goes north-south or east-west. So this is Hamlin here. Traffic is brutal around this time of the day. It's almost 4 o'clock. Here's Ridgeway. Right there we can see Ridgeway. And the next street over is Monticello. That's where we are going. We're gonna turn left into this neighborhood. And right in front of the bus, there we go. These neighborhoods actually around here are very nice now. We're looking for 4508. And the numbers we have here are 4442, so next block over. And it's gonna be on the left hand side. Odd and even numbers, even on the left, odd on the right. 4504. I think this is it, guys, right here. 4508. Let me back up here. Yep. So it's a little bungalow. These homes are called bungalows. This is the original house that Mr. George Hartman grew up in. Isn't that crazy? This is unbelievable. Should we go knock on a door? It's kind of freaking people out, right? By doing that, just like a stranger walks up. But I got the metal with me just in case if I gotta explain myself why am I here. So, and I don't think I can take the camera with me. We'll see. Let's do this. Hello, sir. I know it's a strange request, but I have a question for you. Can you hear me okay? Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I don't want to bother anybody really. I'm doing an investigation on a gentleman who used to live here long time ago. I have a Purple Heart here, metal, that I'm trying to investigate his original address when he enlisted back in 1945 during World War II. His name was George Hartman. Does that ring a bell at all? These are older people. I know I'm a stranger and oh, 30 years ago. Well, obviously this is like 70 years ago already, But this is the less known address when he enlisted in Army back in 1944 when he was 22 years old. You think they're all gone? Wow. Yeah, his father's name was Louis Hartman, and the son, his name was George Hartman. And then the second known address that I have was later on Halstead, but that was already demolished and they built something else there. So I thought I'm trying to do a search if I can find any family at all. Because what I do, I actually own a shop in Crystal Lake, Illinois, outside Chicago in the suburbs. And we buy and sell all kinds of collectibles. This walked into my shop a few days ago. I bought it and I'm trying to return to the family because it belongs with the family, you know? You really don't think nobody exists. They were old when you bought the place, okay. Yeah. 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 Thank you very much. Sorry to disturb you, okay? I apologize. So, older gentleman. He wouldn't open the door, and I don't blame him. I absolutely don't blame him. They bought the place over 30 years ago. And he believes that there's really nobody left from that family. But he knew the name. He knew the name Hartman. So I wonder, till up in like 80s, the family owned this house. Wow. Well, at least, guys, we got to see his original home that he grew up in, you know? Pretty amazing. This is very nice neighborhood overall. You have lots of single family homes, and then you have a lot of these homes that are like multi-family, you know, 2 or 3 story buildings. Very mixed neighborhood. It's a big one melting pot in this neighborhood. Everybody lives here. Every nationality that you can think about lives in this area. Very, very mixed. Like right now I'm pulling up and there's, you know, Mexican store there. On the other side is gonna be some kind of fresh market, Albany Park. I mean, it's very, very mixed area here. Haven't been here in a very long time. I just asked that guy if he lets me in. Yeah, he will, because the only way you're gonna get in and out of the major streets, from small streets to major streets, if you ask yourself. Look at that. That's how people hang out, right there, right on the corner, waiting for the customer to sell some ice cream. Quiet now, but before pandemic, this is very vibrant area. Lots and lots of people on the streets. But look, this is what the pandemic did. Everything is extremely quiet, even though the restrictions are so loose now and kind of going back to normal. It's still very quiet in the city. So anyway, we're not gonna go to the second address, because it turns out I looked up that second address on Google and the old building doesn't even exist, the one on Halstead. So there's no point going there. But this was super excited to go and see the original building that George grew up in. There was a family place, and I don't blame this gentleman. Older gentleman, maybe he was in his 80s, and I was talking to him right through the door, and I could hear also a wife in the background, because he was asking her, when I said George Hartman, he was asking her like, remember Hartmans? Do you remember Hartmans? It was funny. And then he said, well, we bought the house in mid-80s, and he doesn't believe any of the family members are still around. He said, when I bought the house from the family, they were already very, very old. So I don't know, but at least you guys got to see, and I got to see the home that he grew up in. You know, a lot of these homes here in Chicago is an old town, and a lot of them are still standing, that they were built, you know, late 1800s, early 1900s. There's a lot of 100-year-old homes in Chicago. So, you know, there was a good chance that we were gonna see what we saw. So I'm very happy. I can't say that I miss the city, but every time when I come to the city, you know, I always get like an overall good vibe. I like going Chicago downtown. It's beautiful. It's an old town. There's lots of history here. I love coming here and finding stuff, you know, because it's just amazing how much stuff is laying in those attics and those basements, and it's just so much history here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll keep you guys informed how we are progressing with things that pop up, and we can still follow new leads. Hopefully Ancestry is gonna have some cool info for us. They're gonna start digging into this. Thanks, Kat, I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. When you get a big delivery in a city, this is how it works, you know. The big trucks can get into the small alleys in the back, like the back roads, we call them alleys here in the city, and they just drop off pallets and pallets right up front. And you better be here to pick all that up, because if you're not, you might be missing some merchandise.